Hello and welcome back. Sorry for the wait, and welcome to game number 2 between Underscore and Underworld. And the winner is moving on to the finals. And Underscore is just trying to stay alive at this point because Underworld had a dominating and effective game number 1 end and definitely stole one away.
Yeah, 100%. They were in the losing spot the entire game, and they were just able to clean it up in the late game, honestly. I mean, again, had a better team fight late game, so it just really comes down to that. But also just a lot of weird decision making coming out of Underscore as well. So,
Yeah.
ooh, Rob, again, hey?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a complete run back so far of bans, but they're taking the there's a lot of interesting stuff here. They're taking away the Robin, but everything else is the same. Uh, that's not how I expected this to go. I was looking for a Baba ban. I don't know. I'm thrown off.
I mean, yeah. I mean, also Ganesh maybe. Ganesh is
Yeah,
just
the
so
Ganesh
annoying.
was good.
Not that like I definitely think it was a difficult time piloting the Ganesh, but it's just so good into Susano, and it kind of just completely shut him down in the late game if Rob wasn't able to do so. So I mean, taking away a Ganesh is always an option too. But they did get Yorm, so that's just kind of OP. That's
I
super OP.
love the Yorm into the Agni as well. I feel like that sets up so much damage to come
Hmm.
out of that mid lane. And considering what we saw game number 1 from, Baba and Agni, this clearly is going to be a mid lane war of, there's a lot of action around the stuff, but the meat and potatoes of the fights are going to be that mid lane damage.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and Agni and Baba somehow both open after the ban phase. Don't ask me. Ask those teams. Are just able to slide on through. So I wouldn't be surprised if Underscore picks up the Baba. That would be that would probably be a good idea here, honestly. Also, pretty decent into Yorm. I mean, he's a giant target, right? So you just kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that, honestly. I would also like to see something like Merlin has been pretty decent right now. Tiamat with that new build that Agni went in game 1 absolutely is pentakill potential in a character right now. It is so gross. So I'd really like to see that, especially because again, Yorm being such a good target, he's just so easy to kill late game, and T is so good with breastplate right now as well. So Kama,
If
why
a penta
Kama,
happens now, you're like a genius, right?
right?
Now
I
that you
know,
put that into the world.
I know. I'm expecting it. I'm not expecting Kama though. Why are we picking Kama?
The
Why?
Kama is interesting. So Robin and Kamazot's jungle solo both flex picks. So this this will this will help the draft going forward. But once you get in game, I'm not too sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean Kama's fine, I guess, right now, but you have like literally any other option open. Like Thor was open. We really didn't want to pick Thor. We picked Kama.
Plus, not to
Okay.
mention with Underworld being up 1-0 and it's a best of 3. That that is that you're
This is
back
their
against
do or
the
die.
wall. Yeah, I expect to see the Kama go solo. It's a good matchup into
Hmm.
Yorm, but uh, considering last game was such an arena that
Hmm.
I'm kind of going in. I'm looking past the laning phase just based off how these two teams play. In a more traditional setting, I'd have a different mindset, but with how they were going crazy in game 1, I don't expect this to be a simple lane to objective to end. We're gonna probably see another 30-minute, barn burner.
Yeah, I mean that's totally true. I mean, if anything, at least with Kamazoth, is he definitely scales and has more safety than Kokolin. Crab was just absolutely a complete lane bully and was able realistically to just set up so much in like the mid game fights for Underscore, but he wasn't able to translate it into late game because, he's Kokolin. Shocker. Um so it's I definitely think Kamazoth will be a better pick for him. You're able to just die for free. And honestly, she Belanque and Agni have a pretty rough matchup into him. honestly. He's able to just sustain off of your damage, and I think it's pretty decent. I don't think it's good. I think better options were available, but if it's a comfort pick, I am more than happy to see it.
As the Geb gets locked in, I love I love the mindset. It's the execution that I'm worried about, because I feel like one of the strengths that Underworld had was the Ganesh going crazy, getting in, going aggressive. I mean, you'll have that from Cataclysm, sure, but I guess my worry is what happens after the Cataclysm. Because Dark Pillars was bringing a lot, even when we saw the Ganesh getting blown up. So it's...
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm expecting a very different play style coming out of Geb now, because like you said on Ganesh, he was running in there. Even if he was 0-8, he was getting in there. It was his game. He was eating every single Baron ult, so that's totally it's definitely not going to be the same way now. But with Tiamat and Nox, that's actually really gross. Hold on. Ew.
That's a significantly better composition in my mind than game one from Underscore. I mean, granted, I don't think composition ended up being the problem. I think some of the decision making ended up being the problem, but the composition is very much improved. And with how we saw that mid game kind of fall apart into late game, maybe a better team composition. If you're in the same place you were, but your team comp is better, maybe you're able to not make those same mistakes, and maybe like when we saw them steal that Phoenix away, maybe they're able to go further through.
Yeah, 100%. And Tiamat right now is just such a sleeper pick, honestly. She does so much damage. She's able to split push with her minions a little bit. It's clearly not as dominant as it used to be. Rest in peace, Lady Tiamat. But it's still really good. And if we have a Bastet lock here, oh, that's so annoying right now. But honestly, I think Tia just wins it, especially with the standard build that I imagine we're going to see.
It's a wild matchup.
Yeah, this is all over the place, honestly.
It's gonna be tough to kind of assess where things are gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious for Underworld. Underscore, again, I think you're right in thinking that Kama should go solo. I definitely think Rav is good in solo, don't get me wrong, but I think Kama is just not nearly as good as a jungle as Rav is a jungle, so it's just easier that way. And then it allows Crab to just dive in the late game without getting punished, so I think that's good at least. But you're picking Kama for pressure, and against Yorm, you're not getting pressure, so I don't know.
I mean, there's a world where, because Kama can play so well into Yorm in lane, where maybe you can get an advantage and you can kind of rotate around and get some cheeky mid lane ganks to set up for maybe beacon fights and kind of snowball off that. But there's a lot of coulda wouldas that might happen here, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing, is I definitely think Underscore kind of went a very similar comp. I wouldn't say it's obviously it's not nearly the same, but like their idea is very similar to what it was in game one. Especially having, once again, the support on Underscore just absolutely refuses to go traditional supports. Hey, I support that. I like it.
I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it too. But it's definitely a different type of game that you want to play when you have something like a Nox or like a Baron. And they really provide the same kind of thing with the control, except Baron has like heals and Nox has silences, so it's pretty similar, honestly. So I mean, it's still pick oriented though, so can they get those picks off? I don't know. I think I have to give it to Underworld here, but if Tiamat can pop off, I'm excited.
Yeah, if there's one thing I've picked up from your pre-game analysis, Lena, it's that this Tiamat is the to watch pick. So that needs to be where we're focusing our eyes. I'm looking at the lockdown of these team fights, because Nox, Kama, Robin, I mean, a backliner can just be popped and erased, certainly. And the backliners were the strength of Underworld in game number 1, so it's going to be really important for them to kind of weather the storm here.
Yeah, Yeah, and they definitely have more than enough potential to do so. I think she will have a difficult matchup, but using the ultimate, and if you can't see, he can't land abilities, right? So I think that's okay. And then Agni will, I imagine, is going that traditional build, so able to mitigate quite a bit. So, and you're pretty safe with the dash and Geb shield. Don't forget Geb shield.
Yeah, true.
OP ability, but
I like what the Gep Shield brings for the Agni too.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're able to be aggressive, and then you almost have like a secondary health bar as to go along with it. So yeah, that's definitely the mid lane matchup is definitely something that's going to have to be looked at because they both scale disgustingly well. They both have insane pop-up potential. It's just Tiamat will probably get in there a bit more than Agni. I don't know. I'm excited to see it, honestly.
A lot of stuff that happened at the end of game one is what I'm worried about mental wise. So what I want to get your thoughts on is there's certainly, I mean, semifinals is already stressful, but some tilt can seep in. Long games, things don't go great. If you're Underscore, what's the key to the mental of this game, especially in the beginning? Because if they can get themselves to mid game, I feel like a lot of the game one feelings will have gone away. But what's the key to kind of hitting the ground running and getting through the stress of what happened in game one?
Well, I mean, a lot of that comes down to these comps too. I mean, Robin, Tiamat, not like their entire team is just a run at you comp. So in some ways, it's kind of like a salty run back. But if their whole idea here is playing for pressure, and if they're able to actually get that pressure, it'll be like game one never happened. Their mental will be able to subside again. I mean, obviously the delts will probably be there, like, hey, we couldn't translate it, but I think as long as they get early pressure coming out, I think it'll be fine, especially in that dual lane, because there's
Yeah.
no way that you lose to Geb Sheet long game.
Yeah, that's gonna be the key.
So
But
that's a depressing lane.
the key unlocks the doors, and the answers are behind the doors, and we're gonna see the answers in game. Let's get in there. Game number 2 between Underscore and Underworld. It's time for gameplay. It's time for action in Atlanta. This is gonna be an exciting one. I'm looking at the blood and the war to follow. We're getting into game at 46 seconds. We haven't missed any kills, but aggression already leaning the way of Underworld.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Geb is literally not a character until level 5. He's so bad, which is sad. Geb is my favorite guardian in the game, but yeah, he just can't. He can't clear. Like, look how little damage that did.
Somebody's a Geb hater.
No, he's my favorite character. Like, genuinely my favorite character. But Geb is known for his peel and his setup in the late game. You are never picking Geb from his laning phase. He's worse than Terra in my opinion. So, oh, and
they're
here
gonna
we
go
go
aggressive onto Freyr, but when they turn around, they could run into East as well. The Cats do some nice work for East to be able to walk away. And they're still hanging out though, and East stepped back up. Got to play it careful, but does have the jump up, so will get away. Mirandus will now be open to join the Underworld dual lane at the shield buff and Underscore. I mean, we heard it from the Geb gaslighting. Geb cannot contest that shield buff, certainly.
No. Like, it does okay damage, I guess, but it's not. No, you're not contesting it. There's no point. You saw him walk away.
What you're telling me is you need to play more Geb and Assault. You gotta get nuts with it.
I hate Assault. Please don't. No.
Maybe rock a Soul Reaver.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, you gotta go crazy with it.
Okay, no. Full damage Geb jungle. That is the play. I will say that. And I'm not even saying, and it's not even like Geb's bad, like, overall. It's nothing like that. Like, I think Geb's actually super underrated right now, especially for something like comp where it's pretty, you can time your shields really well, and it can all come together. You can get some gross cataclysms, but
exactly. Keep cooking like that, you'll have a Michelin star by the end of this set.
But unfortunately, he does have to get out of the laning phase, and we see he's already a little bit behind. He does have that one level.
Blue buff invade comes out from Mirandus. It's successful at that, so taking blue buff away from Alfie. But East gonna be able to clean him up, and they might be able to find Crab too. Does get the jump off. Blakey gonna come from behind and do okay damage to East, but with the low mana, no follow-up potential. First blood of day number 2 goes to Underscore, which, hey, we talked about that tilt a little bit and that mental from game 1. They needed it.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you need right there. Blakey is playing this Tiamat exactly how you want to play it. You know you have a bit more pressure than Agni in the first few levels, just by the nature of their kits. Still even, but truly save that blue buff. If Blakey's not there, that blue buff gets invaded over and over and over again. So I think it's pretty perfect, really, honestly. Oh, no, okay. No damage, no fun. This is a really unfun duo lane, I'm gonna be honest. No, there's no kill pressure unless Nox
Yeah.
gets like some disgusting damage on.
Not the most exciting that you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's fine though. I mean, in other news though, keep in mind that we do have a level lead coming out for Freyr here, so that's super nice. We like to see that. So
Yeah,
if anyone's gonna put some
in
pressure
those
down,
mid-laners.
yeah, exactly. The faster you can get your tablet online, the better it's gonna be. And oh, it's actually going to go off. Okay, interesting. That is very interesting. I was expecting tablet, but maybe he goes tablet second? Must go tablet second then. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a tiny bit... Like, this build is pretty new, so there's a couple variations of it. I just haven't seen it yet, so... I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, but if anything, he does have more cooldown right now because of the starter than Tiamat, so... Will be a little less tanky, but is able to clear a lot faster, so... That's nice, at least. Gets more bombs off.
Anything, right? Any small advantage. I mean, the start of this one is so much calmer than what we saw in game one, and that's probably for the best considering the way that things went down. It was more chaos than I think was necessary. I mean, we talked about Arena, and I think that was an accurate assessment, certainly.
Can we talk about that there's already a 2k gold lead? Almost 2k? That's Huh? Huh? Excuse me? Where? Hold up here. I'm so confused. What happened?
As Lana's pointing out, it's 6 minutes and with just one kill there. Yeah, 2k gold lead. That's significant. And I guess it's in mid is the main spot I'm looking at.
Yeah, mid, maybe solo a little bit. Yeah, because it's definitely not duo. Yeah, that's very interesting, honestly. I mean, I really like Blakey going for these rotations, but yeah, it does hurt your gold leads, so that's the unfortunate part. But it's a good trade-off because Camazotz apparently needs all the help he can get. Crab is on the struggle bus.
Yeah, which is interesting because usually Camazotz has a fairly nice laning phase against a Yorm. It plays well. I mean, it's not a direct counter. I mean, he did go beads, so it's going to affect certainly some of the laning phase and the pressure that it allows the Yorm to get. And considering that's where a lot of the advantage of Yorm comes from, is being able to step up so far in lane. I guess that does make sense, but still not ideal, certainly, for the underscore solo laner. Now a gank comes out. Miranda's going to look for Alfie. Alfie going to be forced to use the World Serpent, but couldn't even get it off in time. So going to get dropped by Miranda's. East with the response. Could look for Crab. A bet out of hell is available. And now East is actually taking pretty significant damage. Has to walk back and play it safe. Does respond with the ult. It hits Mirandis and brings Mirandis back. But East can't step up too far because Crab is right there. Does have the Geb coming from around the side. Crab is 1 HP. Cataclysm, but is out of range, so the knockup won't find it. And Kupo has to just back up and join the jungler. Nice attempts, certainly, from Underworld, but they couldn't get the better of Underscore there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so confused why Alfie didn't go into the Serpent. Maybe he was just waiting for East. Maybe he assumed that he was going to be faster than he was. He also had pretty low mana, so he might have like just been coming up on the amount of mana needed. Yeah, I think at the time he had like, yeah, what is it?
That hurts. Cost of 100 is tough there.
Yeah.
It must have been really close.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's why, but I mean, East almost turned it back around, to be fair, for no reason. Bastet just hurts right now. That's so disgusting damage. But, Yeah, I mean, at that point, that's just a ward diff, right? you gotta you gotta be placing those wards out. And
Oh no, the
oh,
solo kill for
oh,
Suke over Morg. That's a tough break, but it's been a good ADC matchup. I mean, we saw that in game number 1, the ADC Morg for the team Underworld again. Side switch there from scoreboard. Morg's Ishtar ultimates at times kept Underworld in the game as
it
far as
did.
I'm concerned.
100%. Ishtar has such like a high skill ceiling in my opinion with the ultimates where yes, you can have like okay ultimates, you can have really bad ultimates, but you can have genuinely game-changing ultimates. Like I'm thinking game 1 where again, it was that 4-man Ishtar ult into Baba Potion. Like that genuinely saved them that fight. However, the problem here is that you're on Shibalanke now, and yes, you can have game-changing ults 500%. I always love hearing the comms when you're playing against Shibalanke. I can't see from the whole team.
Yeah,
Riveting comms come out when you're against
totally.
Shibalanke. But it doesn't provide nearly as much damage. It's really just the auto stim. Definitely more utility based, which Ishtar is 100% utility based as well, more than damage, but a different type. So it's definitely something you got to think about when you're playing into your strengths. And yeah, Hachi just gets to win this lane too, so that's unfortunate. Better clear too.
As we cross the 10-minute mark, it's currently 2-1 Underworld versus Underscore, and the gold lead is just about to hit 2,000, which Lana pointed out earlier was significant, but to the credit of Underworld, it hasn't really changed too much since then. They've been able to keep it at that 2K mark, which, as long as it doesn't grow, right? That's the big thing. East looking over to the solo lane. Crab gonna be able to get away from Kupo. If Crab doesn't get that jump off, that's a death.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Crab is not having a fun time in this lane. You are really expecting, you mentioned it before, but you're really expecting Kama to be able to outplay Yorm. Because realistically, that's one of the best matchups for Kama. Like, Yorm is such a gigantic target. You're able to heal off him so well. You can usually, the autos are pretty even. However, Yorm is just so good of a character right now, it just doesn't matter. And another problem is that starter item, the Tainted Steel for Cannonbox, that just basically nullifies his entire healing in the early game, which is something that's super important for him to sustain in the lane. We do have a gank into solo lane. Oh, poor Crab.
Forcing the bat out of hell again. It just doesn't stop over there. And that was in response to the gank in duo, but both members who were ganked respectively for each team were able to get away from the ganks. And Kupo's on the way to help out Morg in the duo lane. So with 30 seconds until first beacon, both teams are spread across the map, significantly so. That was something we didn't really get to talk about in game 1 because of all the chaos. The teams really didn't seem to put that much emphasis on the beacons.
No, not at all. Yeah, it really depends on the teams that are playing. Like, I know a lot of teams, like a lot of the teams that I've played on recently really value this, but realistically, it's not worth dying over. And if you're already losing out pressure, you're totally okay giving it up. I mean, wait, no, nothing. That's boring. That's boring. I was hoping for some kind of engagement.
Excellent call out there. Beacon gonna get started by Underworld. Underscore gonna try to contest. It's an interesting setup so far. It's not looking great though. They gotta switch around. Underscore has the better positioning at first, but they had to concede it, and now Kino gets pulled in, and that should spell the end for the Nox, and it will. East picks that one up for the second kill there for the Bastet. And now that's going to be a clean beacon for Underworld. Like, there's no contest anymore from Underscore that can happen.
Yeah, it looks like, again, and this is another thing that has just been super common for now both of these teams, just being unable, essentially, to come up with a, like your backliners are so different than your frontliners. You could tell everyone wanted to get out there, and Moran just wanted to get in there. I feel like this is just the thing with Rov. It's got to be a Rov thing now. It's not a player thing. It's a Rov thing. Um, but yeah, like, and by the time that call came off, East was able to just get a super clean ultimate. I mean, once again, now it's gonna be Kino playing the pick-oriented style here. Kupo, unfortunately, on the Geb now will be a lot less likely to be eating, you know, a lot of like alts. It's not like you're eating a Baron ult
See,
every
we
time
say
now.
that, but I kind of like I almost expect Kupo to somehow play more aggressive. I just feel like that fits the MO for
No,
for this
no,
set.
but to be fair, Kupo at least has the CC immunity, in his Cataclysm.
That's a good
So
point.
yeah, so he's able to at least like live enough where he's not going to get picked constantly. However, Kino now doesn't have a CC immune ult, so we already saw East get one ult. I'm expecting a lot more because Nox relies so much on her dash really to get her out of bad situations because she is really not that tanky, honestly. Even when building full
Kupo could get stuck out, but the combo was reverse order, so Kupo is actually safe, and now Blakey is the one in trouble. East gets aggressive, but here comes Crab on a gank. Definitely beat the rotation from Alfie. We'll see what Underscore can make of it. Underworld just going to back up, and now in the back line will be Alfie and catch Blakey off guard. World Serpent going to come out and chase down the Tiamat. Blakey's trying to get away from it and should be able to. I don't like. Oh, okay. That back was dangerous because that back felt like it was in the perfect spot to bait out Alfie, but he did not buy the bait. Now Pyro getting pulled, a slam down from Mirandis. Underworld get the Pyromancer away. In the back end of the fight, Alfie will be stuck out. Should be able to get away. Gets hit with every ultimate possible in that moment, but still escapes. Tough break for Underscore.
Yeah, he was able to get out there, which is really nice. And they got the Pyro. So now we're about 5k here. Is this getting dangerous? Yeah, we're getting there. And at 15 minutes, that's where it starts to hurt a little bit, honestly. Especially if you're playing someone like Tiamat. Tiamat, you know, like the mages that are really, like there's some mages that are really good from behind, right? I'm thinking like Kukulkan. I'm thinking, I always think Kukulkan because really, if someone's not going on him, you don't really get that clean ult all the time. So he's better being behind, honestly. I'm thinking Merlin's pretty good from behind. I'm thinking, like
anything defensive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tiamat, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. With Tiamat, your whole idea here is your first round of abilities typically isn't enough to kill them. With this build, it might get pretty close. Honestly, you can do a lot of damage. However, it's not. It won't be enough, especially if you're behind. So then you want to get in there, but you can't because your whole team's dying because you're behind. Tiamat's got to be one of the worst characters in the mid lane from behind. Like, honestly, not as bad as like Zhong Kui, but it's up there. It's certainly up there. So it's just really hard to get damage off. You can see he's having a really tough time too. Actually, why does he have more than Egg? Freyr, what?
Very confusing game so far. It's calm and confusing is the meta of this particular game too. It's 17 minutes in, 2-2 right now. 4K gold lead going the way of Underworld. Underscore though certainly not out, looking to get aggressive around this beacon and spawning soon. But the combo no good on Kupo, and Kupo with the stare down.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
I think everyone's mentals are shot for this game.
Yeah, this is Kupo's game, and everyone's just living in it now.
It's Kupo's world, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. He's now a Geb with Pridwin. Good luck ever killing him now. Like, there's nothing they can do. Like, the worst part, I think the main problem with Underscore's draft, and I think that's why like Underworld's a lot better, is yes, they have the CC lockdown from the Nox, but if you miss that, what else do you have? Nothing.
Yeah,
like,
nothing at all.
Kamba provides no CC. Rob provides some CC, but it's pretty single target.
East trying to avoid the Eagle Eye shots, but gonna stop at the Oracles? But we'll get away. Post there, though.
Aww.
Rainfire comes down, but just gets some poke across. Underscore just looking to back away from that fight. I think we both thought that East was going to be in more trouble than was actually the case. With the beacon opening up here soon, looks like Underworld's just going to concede another beacon. Again, the strategy here has not been full beacon aggression from either of these teams so far. That it's just not on their priority list.
Yeah, and I mean, that's totally fine though. If anything, Underworld have a pretty good advantage going into this beacon, not only because they have the gold lead, but honestly, if Alfie gets poked out here, and you can see he's just backing for a power spike, he has the potential to teleport in. Yeah, and you see him do that. Oh, yeah, there we go. He's coming in. They still will get the beacon, but because of this, they're able to get the fight. Not something Camelot has. They don't get that.
Blink forward and the jump to follow from East. Lots of damage on to Kino, and Kino is in no man's land. It gets picked up. Killing spree for the best that the rest of Underscore can just walk away. And Underworld now have a Gold Fury opened up, and it should be easy pickings, and there will be no contest. Pyromancer will be the answer from Underscore.
Better play anyway. I mean,
East might get there in time. It's gonna be really close, but no, Underscore will get the pyro. It was really close. East, that was a good call from East to head over there a second sooner, and it might have worked out.
it's totally okay for trading those, though. I mean, that's the best play for both
For sure.
teams, really. I mean, if anything, you get the pyro bombs. That can just be really spicy. Now you have it on Crab.
And Crab
Not
actually
gonna be
forced
useful if
into
he
bat
dies.
out of hell. That was scary again. You know, Underscore and Underworld, like both teams, you gotta say whatever you want, but Underworld and Underscore know how to push fights, and they take those fights to the limit. I mean, we haven't seen as much game 2, but the last couple skirmishes we've seen are painting a picture for me of both teams know their go button. They know what their plan is, and if it hits, they're diving. If the blink setup is good from Kupo, Underworld's going in. If the Nox combo hits from Underscore, they're going in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, another thing to keep in mind here is that Underworld's there is kind of a trade-off right now. We saw Kino, he's going into that prophetic cloak that he has, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I'm a prophetic cloak hater, but
You're just full of hot takes today.
I really am. But it's causing his build to really be delayed. If he has speed there, he's probably gonna be able to get fast settled in on CD. Oh,
Mirandus gets a race there and was yelling in comms, I'm blind, I'm blind.
There we go.
A double kill for Morg on Kino. And
Do you
now
see how fast he died?
Underworld's got, they can do anything they want to do at this point. I mean, Blakey and Suke, they're both kind of forced to stand back. We've seen Crab get poked out and blown up multiple times. Kupo taking everything for the tower, but they're going to get the tier 1 tower. And now Underworld, again, world's their oyster here. They can do what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna push for fire, it doesn't look like. It looks like they just want to get more kills and more picks. Kind of just stifle them out, I think.
Unless...
Which is totally fine. No, I think East is just trying to be annoying. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think they even know that fire.
And it's already down below half. And I think Underscore just now realized it. Kino's rushing there. Night Terror will come out. It did hit the Fire Giant. On the rain fire, Underworld will get the Fire Giant, and Kino should drop on the back end to Morg, and that will be the case. Now the rest of Underscore will try to make a play happen, but Frere gonna get Sasuke, and now Underworld have an opening to push out and play aggressive. Blakey dealing with Alfie. Mirandus now back in the fight will get the root, but nothing more. And it's a call for a retreat from Underscore, and it's a call for a chase so far from Underworld. Going aggressive as can be, Kupo trying to create an opening on Blakey, but does not quite find a home. So it looks like both teams will choose to back up, despite Underworld still chasing at the tier 2 and looking to push into the tier 2. I'm surprised for this call, but they will get it for free. Wise from Underscore have to force the issue. They
yeah,
didn't get
now
it.
it's almost 10k lead. That's terrifying. I don't like to
Surprised they didn't
see
get
that.
it.
No, I think you can tell Morg really wants to go for it, but everyone's like, back up.
It's a really awkward game at times. It kind of feels like, I mean, I know we talked about the mental of Underscore, but it feels like both teams have an odd mental this game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I definitely think Underworld's getting more confidence as the game grows, obviously. I mean, like I just said, it's a 10k gold lead, but yeah, they're definitely like similar to game one, they have very split decision making. You can tell that the backliner is actually this game, knowing they're ahead, actually want to go in now. And now the frontliners want to stay back. It's a complete reverse from game one, but still split decision making, and that's this game definitely could be over a lot faster if it was still together. But I'm not against the call for not going for the tier 2. There was 3 people still there, and Underworld was about half health, and there was only 3 of them there. So if Shivalante got zoned off for whatever reason, it would have been a really poor fight for Underworld, and you might as well just play it slow and take it safe. It's almost 11k now. This is fine.
Almost
Keep
11k,
going.
coming up in 25 minutes. 2-7, also advantage Underworld. Experience is 15,000.
That's disgusting. That's
And
the scary part.
with the beacon coming up, Lena, I mean, I'm not much of a shot caller myself. With beacon coming up, this huge advantage, you've got Fire Giant. I'm saying you take the next 3 to 4 fights. You probably fight until EFG. You get beacon, you push tier 2 with Fire Giant. I say you even force a fight at your Titan, because this advantage is not going to get any bigger than it is right now. And that's just what they're going to do. They get aggressive, looking for Blakey, but won't find it, so they'll back up to reinforcements.
Yeah, they're definitely giving them a lot more space than they probably deserve. I definitely, yeah, like they're going for Beacon now, and like that's fine, but do you need the whole squad for Beacon? do we need 5 people for Beacon? We so
You don't like
need
Beacon
5
Cuddle
people.
Fest? You have not been playing Smite this season.
I hate it, thank you. But yeah,
Catch
I'm
me and the boys
surprised.
snuggling at Beacon.
But like, why do we need that? Everyone can snuggle at the tier 2. I don't know, guys. Yeah, see, now they want to go for the tier 2. They're just playing this like so slow. And if Underworld shows like 1 or 2 people like they're doing now, they just give them so much respect. I don't think
Yeah,
Underworld
they're being
realizes.
starved to farm too.
Yeah, like I don't think Underworld realizes how much of a lead that they truly have. Like they can get away with a lot right now. I'm not saying you don't want to play it smart, but yeah, you can just walk in. Like that was a lot better. I don't think they need to wait for everyone again either, but that's fine.
Slow methodical burn here has taken down the tier 2 tower in duo. Dual lane is where the Titans will be pushing out, and it looks like Underworld is going to call a reset and potentially push up with that Titan. This is always an interesting time for the Titans to push up, because this Titan fight will lead into the EFG fight, or potentially next Fire fight with the way that Underworld's positioning.
Yes, 100%. I think a lot of teams put a lot of emphasis on the Titan, by the way, and I don't think they really need to. It's really not that game-changing most of the time, as long as both teams can really clear it, and it looks like Underscore is actually getting here first, so where has Underworld been?
Yeah.
Where
Underworld
were
has
they?
just kind of walked around the map making... Yeah. It looks like they were looking for something that wasn't on the map. And
they're dawdling.
And to your point, the Chaos Titan wins a fight in a 1v1 of just the Titans. The Chaos Titan will win and push to Phoenix. It has a cleave.
That's so annoying.
So,
annoying.
You have to answer if your order, which is what they did there. But like you said, Underworld, I mean, we saw a couple members kind of walk towards Fire, but they didn't ward over. They just kind of walked over there. We saw a couple members hang out in their own jungle on duo side. No deep internal wards. So I'm with you. I'm very confused what was happening. Well, I mean, nothing came of it. The Titans are both dead, but like that was.
They're not pushing their lead.
That kind of broke my brain a little bit.
Yeah, they could 100% push their lead so much more. Like realistically, Kino is a sitting duck. He still has 19 stacks on the guys. Like he is not tanky. Like he's also a Nox, so keep that in mind. Like he literally just one Bastet ult, he is dead. Like at this rate, I think Kupo could solo him. So
the Geb gaslighting is back just in time for late game.
Thank you. It's my specialty. It really is.
Yeah, Land of the Geb Gaslighter. That'd be your bardic title.
I like it, honestly. I'm down. I mean, Kupo's played it fantastic, to be fair. Some disgusting Geb shields, by the way, in these last fights. Like, there's no way East should have had so much damage as he did going into that last fight had he not just had a Geb shield. But to be fair, it's not like he's been under pressure for Geb shields either. I mean, Mirandus and Crab have been so far behind, you kind of can't dive anyway. So as long as you can just put it onto your dive characters, that's the ideal scenario for Geb anyway. You don't want to use it for peel. You want to use it for extra health and extra damage.
29 minutes now hit. We haven't seen any significant changes in gold and kills since the last time we mentioned it. Gone up a couple thousand, but at this point, like, as Land has been pointing out, it doesn't make a huge difference. The most important thing is EFG is less than a minute away. And Underworld getting the most aggressive we've seen for what feels like 5 minutes, and they instantly call retreat after East gets moved out. So both teams kind of just, they're playing like they're, I wouldn't say scared, I'd say they're both playing like they're timid of the other and what the other team could do.
Yeah, and it's very weird because Underworld have the potential to push it so much more. They have the better late game team comp in my opinion anyway. Like, Kama falls off pretty hard late game. Rov is good late game, but in my opinion, Basta's just way better. Agni is similar to Tiamat, but with how far ahead it doesn't matter. Oh, he is getting
Mirandus running down East, but Geb's shield and Aegis were enough to deter the Rov, and Mounted Archery couldn't find it either. EFG gets pulled, and Underworld get it. It was very close to a steal as well. Now Underworld go retreat quickly, and Underscore can't find an answer out of the retreat. Matter of fact, Crab takes a lot of poke. You know, we've been talking a lot of smack about the slow play of this game. We talked a lot of smack about the arena in game number 1, but that was one of the best Fire Giant disengages from Underworld I've seen in a long time.
I mean, that's so true. But at the same time, they weren't under any pressure. I'm very, very surprised Underscore didn't try and push that more.
Yeah, they had people like, in the pit, close to the pit. They definitely could have played that a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, they 100% could have. Like, East got the Geb shield, but like, after that, he had his leap down. He had all his tools down. Like, his ult was down. I saw Mirandus use the beads to immune that. So, realistically, they 100% could have pushed that more and been able to get out. I mean, it's good play on Underworld for recognizing that they're down, but at the same time, it's not like they had that much of a choice. They had to leave anyway. There was no reason they would have been able to win and take a fight there. So, yeah, it's good play, but, I mean, it's just not consistent out of Underscore. It's very opposite of the first game. They were so aggressive the first game, and now they are extremely
We almost
terrified.
saw a base race in game 1. Both teams were playing so aggressive, and this game, it feels more like, it feels like Underscore has been playing Titan defense for 10 minutes for no reason, and it feels like Underworld has been playing a team that just got back in the game and is trying to make the most out of their offense. It's very, very odd. But now, Underworld knocking on the door, the Phoenixes just need some kind of opening to step in. Kupo gonna look for it as Alfie gets aggressive in mid, but nothing comes of it yet, but the bomb will explode the dual lane Phoenix. Mid Phoenix isn't super healthy either. They could step there next. Blind comes out. Mirandus has to ult away. East gonna go for the chase, and East gonna find it, and all of a sudden things are imploding and quickly, and we're not far away from the throne room. Kupo gets aggressive and finds another opening, and everybody at Underscore is forced to back and heal. So Underworld will not force the issue, considering the healing, and they're going to go for the tier 2 tower in the solo lane. And, you know, they played that methodical, and it worked out to their credit.
Yeah, the slow burn, it makes sense. And then they pushed what they needed to push, too. I mean, Mirandus was very far out of position at that point, trying to almost look for a flank, but you're playing Rov, and you're 1-2 at that point. There's, you know, you don't... you don't win. There's no way. They just do way more damage to you than you do to them. Yeah, so, yeah, they definitely played it exactly how they wanted to play it. They weren't scared. They didn't give them any room to breathe. And East is just playing absolutely disgusting with this Bastet.
Did you
So
see Blakey kind of take a step back there when
yeah,
when they turned and saw East walking through?
yeah, they're
I
terrified of
felt
this
felt
Bastet,
that in my soul.
as they should be, truthfully. 4 on 4, almost top damage in lobby next to Yorm, and that's Mickey damage, so I'm not counting that.
All right.
It's come on, it's Yorm. You can't tell me that
Dude,
fighting in solo lane the whole time is not
I'm
making
not
damage.
disagreeing. I'm just also saying you're a hater.
I mean, it is what it is.
See? You're not even disagreeing.
You know what? I'll be a hater. It's okay. Someone's gotta hate. But I mean, yeah, it so much damage coming out of Bastet, and it's very interesting because realistically, Bastet actually has a really horrible matchup into Nox. As soon as Bastet jumps in, if you put the silence on their feet, Bastet being one of the least tanky of the junglers, so squishy, needs to get the pounce back. 90% of the time. I mean, I think at this rate, East is so far ahead, it doesn't matter. You don't need to pounce back. This is East's game. But realistically,
Oh no, Kino just got caught out significantly so. East gonna get the ult off, but Night Terror just in time for the save there. That could have spelled trouble, but that does spell the end of the solo lane Phoenix. So now no Phoenix is up. And we've gone from calm to dire rather quickly for Underscore. Now no Phoenix is up. EFG about to spawn 35 minutes around the corner, 2-8 right now. Underworld dominating and slowly burning Underscore to what could be the end of their playoffs run. I
it's
mean,
over.
this minion, by the way,
It's almost a 20k gold
why did
lead.
that minion want to help them with the EFG?
You know,
Imagine the minion
he's an
steals the
anti-hater.
EFG because it was an order
Yo,
minion.
that would be so
Wait,
funny.
what happens there? I have questions.
Then okay, so
Because it's an
this
order side minion, right?
yeah. So this is what reminds me of like the casters tournament that Hyros used to have.
Oh,
Oh,
that's gonna it's gonna have to wait. Kino gets the credit,
oh,
but Alfie gets erased. We'll see if Underscore can make anything off of it, but they will split because they've got tons of fire minions pouring in. So, I mean,
I hate
it
this
sounds
game.
weird, but go ahead, make your point while the fire minions pour in.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They can't defend this. I'm pretty sure the game is just completely over unless they all just decide to.
They're gonna full send for the EFG. I respect it. Kino gonna
They
go
should.
aggressives. They're gonna dive into the ring. I mean, they've got a chance. Underworld will get the EFG though. A lot of damage on Kupo, but more are gonna find Kino. Crab will clean up one, but a rampage for the Bastet. This will spell the end that Lana was just talking about. She was gonna reference the caster games and the casters going off topic and getting crazy with it. But hey, you didn't need to get crazy to dominate this game. Underworld just has to march to the Phoenix. That's all they have left. It'll be up to Blakey and Mirandus to keep the season alive. Mirandus gets the dive onto Kupo and finds one. Now East with the 1v2 could find Blakey, will find Blakey, and with that, Morg showed up, and there's an army of fire minions to help send Underworld to the finals 2-0.
The surrender vote at the end. This is so funny to me. I mean, that was just really good play coming out of Underworld. They 100% cleaned it up from the first game. And they played to their strengths. They knew exactly what they needed to do. I mean, certainly wasn't clean by any means. It was still an arena match, but I mean, shout out to them. They played what they need to do, and they
You know
got
what's
it
funny?
done.
I I kind of mentioned that. I talked about the in playoffs, just make your plan, go point to point, objective to objective. I mean, the hero plays make playoffs are memorable. Sure, I mean when you get big pentas and quadras and you defend bases, but realistically, the way that you can win a tournament is just by killing the Titan and doing it as quick as you can, and that was the way Underworld approached that game too, and Underscore just didn't have an answer for that style of play. They were ready to fight, but they weren't ready to defend, it seems.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, they just didn't. Their comp game 2 was just so not focused to lose early. Like they really didn't want to lose early. Um We saw that Kino, ever since they ended up losing, had a really rough time getting in there at all. Basically, just got blown up on cooldown. Blakey, I mean, did a lot of damage. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not enough because you just lost out on the early lead so much. Um, and Crab, unfortunately, just could not stand up to this Jormungandr. Jormungandr's just so good right now; it just doesn't even matter.
I mean,
Even though it's his
that's a
best
tough
matchup.
way. That's a tough way for your season to end because you definitely don't feel like you went out on your best foot. Certainly, if you're
Yeah,
underscore, but if you're Underworld, what what I find really impressive from Underworld and what I would look at going into the middle division finals. I mean, they've got a while to wait, but what I'd look at from Underworld is that their play style in game 2 that was kind of created from nothing, essentially, that slow burn, that wore out underscore. I would look to, I mean, if in game 1 of finals you get in there and that works, I say just full send it the whole way.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, they definitely seem to play better when they have the upper hand. Um, which I mean, shocker. That's the analysis of the year, guys. But um they they know how much you could tell when they were ahead they knew that they were able to take so much damage and be able to live. We saw East even at the very end literally killing Blake with an
Yeah.
Aegis. That's so rude. But knew exactly what they needed to do. I think going into these next finals, if they are doing scrims and stuff like that, maybe play against some teams that are heavy-handed and will force you into a spot where you're playing from behind so they can work on that better because game 1 was closer to a fluke than anything. I think if they're against a really good team that knows how to punish them from behind, and are able to keep that grip going on, they
Sure.
don't come back in this set. So,
I like the call. Hopefully they heed your words. And again, congratulations to Underscore for making it this far. It's a tough way for a season to end, but you made it to semifinals. Never anything to be bummed about. Plus, you got losers bracket. So I mean, come on, just run through that. Just honestly, follow Mirandus and Blakey to the end of the world. But that is all that we have today. Once again, my name is Anthony Malum. I've been your play-by-play. I was joined by Lana, and taking us through production and oh so well was Rosie. Thank you for watching GSL. We'll be back with more soon, and we'll see you next time. Totally.